In a muddy field in England, a group of rebellious barons forced a king to sign a document that would change the course of history. That document, the Magna Carta. But what exactly was it? Why was it signed? And how did a 13th century agreement become the foundation for modern democracy? Let's uncover the history, the facts, and the lasting impact of the Magna Carta. What is the Magna Carta? The Magna Carta, Latin for Great Charter, was a written agreement signed in 1215 between King John of England and a group of rebel barons. It limited royal power and guaranteed certain legal rights. It's one of the most important documents in Western history. Why was it signed? King John had taxed the nobles heavily to fund unsuccessful wars in France. He lost land, money, and support. The barons had enough. They marched on London and demanded reforms, forcing the king to negotiate. When and where? The Magna Carta was signed on June 15, 1215 at Runnymede, a meadow near the River Thames, not far from Windsor Castle. Who was King John? King John is often remembered as a weak and unpopular monarch. He was the youngest son of Henry II, brother of Richard the Lionheart, and is often portrayed as the villain in the Robin Hood legend. His reign was marked by military failures, heavy taxation, and conflict with the church. Key provisions of the Magna Carta. The original Magna Carta had 63 clauses, including protection from illegal imprisonment, access to swift justice, limits on taxation without baronial consent, church freedom from royal interference. These were radical ideas for the time. No one is above the law. Perhaps the most famous legacy of the Magna Carta is the principle that even the king is subject to the law. This idea would echo throughout history and inspire future democracies. The Magna Carta wasn't for everyone. While it sounds revolutionary, the Magna Carta originally applied only to the nobility, not commoners. It wasn't about human rights. It was about power sharing between the king and his elite. King John's immediate reaction. John didn't honor the Magna Carta. Within weeks he had it annulled by the Pope, claiming he was forced into it. This led to the First Barons' War, a civil war that erupted shortly after. John's death and reissue of the Charter. King John died in 1216. His 9-year-old son, Henry III, took the throne. To restore peace, his advisors reissued the Magna Carta, this time with revisions. It would be reissued multiple times in the following decades. The 1297 version becomes law. In 1297, King Edward I reissued the Magna Carta, and it was officially entered into English statute law. Parts of that version are still law in England today. Influence on the US Constitution. The Magna Carta inspired many founding principles of the United States. The Fifth Amendment, which guarantees due process, is a direct descendant of Magna Carta ideas. Magna Carta and modern democracy. Many democratic systems, including the UK Parliament and modern human rights law, can trace their roots back to the values established by the Magna Carta: limits on power, rule of law, and legal protections. Magna Carta's survival. Only 4 copies of the original 1215 Magna Carta survive today. They're kept in the British Library and cathedrals, protected under tight security as priceless historical treasures. Misconceptions about the Magna Carta. People often think the Magna Carta gave rights to everyone. It didn't. Others think it was a constitution. It wasn't. It was a peace treaty that accidentally became a symbol of liberty. The Charter wasn't called Magna Carta. Initially, it was simply known as the Charter. The term Magna Carta only came later when it was reissued alongside another document, the Charter of the Forest in 1217. Magna Carta's influence on English common law. The Charter influenced the development of common law by establishing legal procedures like habeas corpus and protections from arbitrary detention. How often was it used? The Magna Carta was often cited in later legal disputes between monarchs and nobles. It became a go-to reference when checking the power of the crown. Legacy beyond England, the Magna Carta influenced constitutional developments in Canada, Australia, and India, all former British colonies. Its legacy traveled far beyond its medieval origins. Magna Carta in popular culture. From TV shows to historical dramas, the Magna Carta has become a symbol of rebellion, justice, and rights. It's even referenced in video games, novels, and political speeches. The Magna Carta began as a political crisis between a king and his nobles. But its legacy grew into a symbol of freedom, justice, and constitutional government. A simple signature on parchment, echoing across centuries. If you learned something new about the Magna Carta today, Let me know in the comments. Should more world leaders study this ancient charter? And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful moments in history that shape the world we live in today.